About to get started here soon, guys. Welcome, guys, to the Me Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's live stream we'll be talking about Bitcoin and some of these cryptocurrencies here. We currently see that Bitcoin's at $106,168, and I wanted to show you guys some stuff here, what Bitcoin looks like on the weekly chart here, because it is very confusing out there, and we're losing some of the progress that we made earlier this week here. But yeah, this is what we have going on here with Bitcoin. We do have a shooting star candle. Excuse me. Shooting star candles are reversal candles, and usually indicates that the price is going to go to the downside here, indicating that there's a lot of selling pressure from this candle wick that we've had. We saw Bitcoin get as high as $110,600 earlier this week. And we're threatening to go to lower prices here with all the selling pressure that's showing up on the charts here. We can see right here on the MACD, buying pressure, which was showing up here for Bitcoin since like the beginning of May here. Buying pressure is starting to come down. It came down last week, and it's coming down here again for this week. We actually had a hammer candle on the weekly chart here for Bitcoin. Which was very interesting because the hammer candle indicated that we were getting a reversal to the upside, and now here we're getting a reversal to the downside. And if I go into the monthly candle here, we're getting like an indecision doji candle here, which could indicate that Bitcoin topped out for now. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, guys, but the candles here are showing that we might have topped out here for Bitcoin, and we might be coming back down, going into maybe later on in June and going into July here. So heed this as a warning. I think what's spooking the markets right now is that Israel is threatening to attack Iran and go into a full-scale war with Iran. Of course, it would be end up being a full scale, even if it's just them targeting their nuclear weapon sites and research labs. Iran's gonna fight back, and what does that do to the markets here? That's probably gonna rock the markets here. The markets are already at on wit's end right here. I believe we had like the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. Let me just take a look at them real quick here. S&P 500, they were actually up, believe it or not, today, but we were on track to have a better week this week because we had inflation coming down. CPI report was showing inflation coming down. PPI report came out this morning and showed inflation coming down. We had a pretty good jobs report, solid jobs report last Friday, and these are all good things that would help out the economy and the markets. But with this whole Israel situation, I think that's affecting the markets right now. We got to figure out how far Bitcoin can go down. We can always talk about the upside, but we have to start figuring out where the downside targets might be for Bitcoin and crypto here. And I'm gonna have to pull up the VRVP to show you where the high volume nodes might be. Right now we're on a daily time frame. The 200-day moving average is showing that Bitcoin could come down to $95,000 before it gets some support off the moving averages over here. We are a little bit high above. This 21 EMA was supposed to provide support. This white line here at the 21 EMA, and that was sitting at $106,600, and that's kind of where we were at earlier today. But now we're getting below that right now, and we don't really have that much support from the moving averages until we come down to $95,000 Bitcoin here. Also, if I turn on the VRVP, okay, VRVP is showing that we do have a high volume node here at $103,800 Bitcoin. We have a point of control at that level. There should be maybe a bounce off of that level for Bitcoin, or a reaction in that zone. But if we can't hold $103,800 Bitcoin, then we have a drop in the VRVP here. We got a little bit of reaction here at $99,000 Bitcoin, but we don't really actually get support until we get down to like $97,000 Bitcoin on the VRVP. So I'm expecting, if we're not able to hold $102,000, $103,000 Bitcoin, we could come down to $97,000 or $95,000 Bitcoin. I'm gonna have to draw out these zones here for you guys, okay? So you guys can see this later on in the charts. That right now we do have a buy zone, which is where Bitcoin was trading at in late April, going into early May. We do have a buy zone right here between 95,000. I'll just draw it here from 93,000 to about $97,000 Bitcoin. Okay, in that area you should be putting in your buy limit orders if you want to scoop up some cheaper Bitcoin. We do kind of have also right here $103,000 Bitcoin. I'll go ahead and draw that out here. We do have in this area a buy zone, okay, and that's like anywhere between like $105,000 Bitcoin all the way down to $102,500 Bitcoin. So like in this area we should be trying to scoop up some cheaper Bitcoin if we can. And now look at this. As I'm currently live streaming right now, Bitcoin's near the lows of the day. We're trading at $105,900 Bitcoin, and it just seems to be getting worse out there for the Bitcoin cryptocurrency space. Alright, we are waiting for a stablecoin bill that's in Congress right now. Stablecoin bill might be voted on either, well, if it wasn't voted on today, it might be voted on tomorrow or going on to like next week. But I think they're doing some last minute arguments against it before they try to pass that bill. Alright, but yeah, this is what we have going on here for Bitcoin. John is saying he wants to see Bitcoin come down cheaper so he can buy some at lower prices here. You might get your wishes might come true here, John. Your wishes might just come true for Bitcoin. Like I said, we should be planning on buying some Bitcoin anywhere between $102,000 to $105,000 Bitcoin. Let me go into the 1 hour time frame, see what Bitcoin is looking like on the 1 hour time frame. And on the 1 hour time frame, we have lost the 200 moving average. Let me get rid of the VRVP for now. We lost this red line here, this 200 moving average at $106,477 Bitcoin. So that's no good. That's no bueno. RSI is relatively low on the 1 hour time frame at 31.6. Anytime you get below 30 on the RSI, you're considered oversold. So Bitcoin's about to go into oversold territory here. On the MACD, you got some red increasing selling pressure on the MACD, and stochastic RSI is low, or heading on to lower levels here. So that's not good. I had my friend Porky tell me to look at the 4 hour time frame for Bitcoin. I'm not quite sure, but he said that there's some ridiculous comedy stuff going on the 4 hour time frame. Maybe I'll be able to get a chance to check out his live stream and ask him why he thinks that's the case here. But yeah, we did have a shooting star candle here, which is a bearish candle, and we're getting that follow through right now on the 4 hour time frame. Shooting star, we came up, we tested as high as about $108,400 Bitcoin. But we closed out at 106,800, and we got that follow through. That's sending us down below the. Now we're about to lose the 200 moving average on the 4 hour time frame, and I'm kind of anxious to actually put in a short myself and see if I can cover and maybe recover here my short around like $102,000 Bitcoin or $103,000 Bitcoin. The selling pressure is starting to increase, and we're about to lose the 4 hour time frame here. I could do a scalp short here. Mike Bassett thinks that we're gonna drop. We'll drop more and then rally later this year, is what Mike is saying. That might be the case. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. We're not getting any good bit of news here in the markets besides the regular data that we get for inflation and jobs report. I think the market's still on the edge because we really haven't gotten any trade deals, so that's not helping us out. And now we got this whole fiasco in the Middle East with Iran and Israel probably gonna go at it with each other this summer. It's gonna probably be a very hot summer, and not in a good way. But yeah, that's my take here on Bitcoin. Might be time to start shorting Bitcoin. Might be time to start selling your crypto if you're not able to take the selling pressure here. Usually during the summer, it's not usually good for Bitcoin, and I thought we would possibly get, maybe this time might be different. Ooh. Famous last words. I thought this time would be different if we got those trade deals coming in and didn't get any black swans like Israel attacking Iran. But looks like we're gonna get what we usually get with the summer, and that's usually a red summer or consolidation, sideways trading at best. And like I said, with Bitcoin, your buy zones are now at $94,000 Bitcoin, and you're hoping that holds. It did hell for the most part all throughout the end of 2024 going into the beginning of 2025, and then we lost that $94,000 level here in February. I think you guys all know the history with that for the most part, and then we regained it once Trump took the tariffs off the table here. But tariffs could be coming back on again in July because we haven't gotten any trade deals yet, and I think that's also spooking out the markets here as well. So yeah, I was optimistic earlier this week because selling pressure was dying down on Bitcoin, right? We had a little bit of selling pressure here in the beginning of June, and it was starting to die off. And then some people who've been following like the full moon cycles and all that were saying that we got a full moon yesterday, and that's usually bullish for the markets and for crypto. But I think this whole bit of news with Israel and Iran is just spooking out the markets, and you know, we should have been getting green candles here in the MACD, but now we're getting red candles again all over again, meaning that selling pressure is starting to creep in on the markets. Now let me go ahead and take a look at money flow. Let's take a look at money flow real quick here for Bitcoin. On the daily time frame, we saw, you know, money was coming into Bitcoin since the middle of April here, and it was increasing and increasing and increasing going into May. And May was very interesting because usually it's sell in May and go away, but we were climbing up on the price of Bitcoin here. But now the buying pressure, the money flow is coming down here, and we might start entering red going into the month of July here on the money flow, and that's not going to be good, and it's not going to be good for the altcoins either. I'm actually personally considering putting some tight stop losses on some of my altcoin spot bags just to hold on to the gains that I made so far. What very little gains there were to be had this year in the altcoin space. Most of it's been Bitcoin for the most part, as we all know. But yeah, Mike is saying that we only Donald Trump only paused the tariffs. Yeah, exactly. So like tariffs might go back to being resumed again in July because we're not getting any trade deals, and you know, this is rocking the markets right now for Bitcoin. I got the VRVP here still. For those who might have joined in the live stream just now and didn't see what I had to say about the VRVP. We do have a buy zone here for Bitcoin. We have a POC at $96,000. I think anywhere between $93,000 to $97,000 is going to be a good buy zone area because that's where we were able to get some sideways trading action here back in late April for Bitcoin. That could be some good buy zone areas because the people who bought Bitcoin in late April, they're still in profit. But like when this thing comes back down to like $93,000, $95,000, they're going to be back to break even. They won't really be in a rush to sell unless we lose $93,000 Bitcoin. But here's the scary part. If we lose $93,000 Bitcoin, there's another gap in the VRVP, and we might have to retest the value area low here at $87,000 Bitcoin all over again. Guys, if you have any altcoin requests here, by all means, put in your requests. If you have a stock you want me to look at, I can look at your stocks as well. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button already. And I appreciate whatever gifts you guys want to give me here on TikTok as I go through these coins for you guys. I think I'm ready to start looking at some old coins here. Let's take a look at a crowd favorite, Ethereum. Ethereum is currently trading at 26.46. And I got some lines here and a lot of stuff going on in this chart. Maybe I should look at another chart here that doesn't have all these lines. Let me look at Ethereum on Binance here, so it's a little bit less clutter for you guys. Ethereum was in what we thought was a bull flag for the longest time, and it was starting to break out of that bull flag here. Looks like it's turning into a fake out. And if Ethereum continues going down to lower prices here, we do have a POC that says Ethereum should get support at like $2,500 bucks. The $2,500 area seems to be an area that Ethereum would get support because there was a lot of sideways trading action in that area. But if we lose $2,500 Ethereum, then we could end up coming right down to $2,200 Ethereum, where we have a high volume node on the VRVP here. I mean, if we lose that level, then there is another level here that says we could see $1,900 Ethereum, and that's the value area low. But let's just stick to the closest levels here. There is a gap in the VRVP. If we lose $2,500 Ethereum or $2,400 Ethereum, then this thing's gonna come right screaming down to about $2,200 Ethereum, and then you might be able to get some buy orders in at that area and get filled, and you're getting some cheaper Ethereum at that price. Matic wants me to take a look. You want me to take a look at Hyperliquid? And you're thinking about shorting Hyperliquid? Is that what you're trying to say there? We'll take a look at Hyperliquid after this one. John is also making a request here for ZBCN. Okay, we'll take a look at Hyperliquid, and then we'll take a look at ZBCN here. Hype and ZBCN. Just gotta write these things down. Appreciate the request. Don't forget the like button, especially if I'm going over your crypto here. I'm giving you some technical analysis here. I would like to say, I would like to state what the bullish case might be for Ethereum. If Ethereum can get a bounce off this POC and go to higher prices here, then we're looking at like maybe something like this, where Ethereum comes down to this level here at $2,400 or even $2,500. We'll say $2,500. If Ethereum does come down to $2,500 and bounces off that level, we do have a 1618 that says Ethereum should get up to about $3,100 here. And if you want to stay in the Ethereum trade a little bit longer than that, then there's a 2618 that says Ethereum could get up to $3,400, almost $3,500, based off of this Fibonacci analysis here. So those are your upside targets on Ethereum if you're going to continue being bullish here. And you would have to get past this value area high at like 2850. And Ethereum could be off to the races once it gets past that level. Alright, let's take a look at Hyperliquid. So we're currently looking at the price of Hyperliquid at $40.65. Let me go ahead and put in my indicators here. And what do we got going on? Here? Hyperliquid has been in a bull trend. Wow, ever since, let me get rid of this VRVP real quick. It looks like ever since April 7th, right? It's been off to the races for Hyperliquid. You did get overbought here on the RSI on May 25th. And looks like you kind of almost got overbought again here on Tuesday, a couple of days ago. Right? So this thing is starting to become long in the tooth on the rally here. I wouldn't be surprised if Hyperliquid ends up coming down to this 21 EMA and uses that as support maybe one more time. That 21 EMA is currently at $35.92. So maybe you can put some buy orders in, see if they get filled at that $35.90 or $36 area for Hyperliquid. I was just using the 21 EMA here. Let's see what the MACD has to say about things with Hyperliquid. Let's see, the MACD, you did have some selling pressure back here, which then got flipped and you got buying pressure the last 3 days here with Hyperliquid. But you're getting a light green candle right now on Hyperliquid, and light green could end up turning into red as we start losing this buying pressure, and the buying pressure could turn into selling pressure. So that's not good to see here. We might be topping out on Hyperliquid for now. And if we do come down on Hyperliquid, how far down could we possibly go? Let me just do a fib analysis here for you. Usually on these retracements, you come down either to the 0.5 retracement or the 0.618, which is the golden pocket here. So $36 Hyperliquid, I think is in the cards if we do come down. But you could also come down as low as $34. Okay. If Hyperliquid is still bullish here, then you won't see it go below this 786 retracement at $39.73, which we're kind of like only $1 away from that. So if this thing is extremely bullish, right, then you shouldn't really see Hyperliquid go lower than $39.73. But most likely, if it's not bullish or overly bullish here, then you will see the 0.5 or 0.618 retracement at some point here, anywhere between $34 and $36. Those would be the downside targets for Hyperliquid. Now, if Hyperliquid is able to get that bounce off that 21 EMA, then we do have a 1618 that says that this thing could continue going up as high as $56.20 in the near future here. So those are your downside and your upside targets for a hyperliquid. William McSucker wants me to look at the Bitcoin heat map. Is that the map that shows all the cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin? We could probably take a look at that. Let's see. This is the liquidation heat map, but let me see if I can find that over here. Heat map. The market cap heat map. Alright, so this is what your heat map is looking like so far. Bitcoin at 1.44 trillion, Ethereum at 476 billion. Not sure what exactly you want me to look at the heat map for. Take a look at the 1 hour. Yeah, this is not giving me percentages here. This heat map. I wanted to see what the percentages might be for the heat map, but I'm not getting anything there. Take a look at open interest, maybe? Yeah. But you can see on the heat map, almost everything's in the red here, except for Bitcoin Cash. Where is this thing? Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, 8 billion. At an $8 billion market cap, is actually up today, 0.42%. That's interesting. Let me just double check here. Oh, it shows Bitcoin Cash is actually in the red over here on Coinbase. So I don't know why that data is at showing that way. But let's go ahead and take a look at ZBCN for now. Alright, ZBCN is actually down 8% today. Look at the daily time frame for ZBCN. And looks like ZBCN has already been in a downtrend already, making lower highs and lower lows. We topped out here on June 1st or June 2nd here. This thing was as high as 0.007 pennies. What do we got going here for ZBCN? Let me go ahead and put the Fibonacci analysis. I believe we might have hit some fib levels here already. Looks like we did come down to the 0.382. 0.382 is at 0.0036 pennies. This thing came down to 0.037 pennies yesterday. And it looks like we're getting a red candle now. Could we end up retesting that 0.382 level all over again going into tomorrow? I don't know. Possibly. RSI is cooling down here. We're at a neutral 48 level for the RSI. Selling pressure was increasing. Then it started dying down on yesterday. And now it's starting to increase again all over again. Stochastic RSI is pretty low. I would be tempted to buy some more ZBCN once it gets to the 0.382 level here at 0.0036 pennies or 0.037 maybe. But this thing, if we do get some bad news in the markets here and Israel actually starts attacking Iran, then we could come down to the 0.236 level at 0.0028 pennies for that deep 236 retracement here. And it wouldn't be surprising to see it go down to that level. Now it's still using this Fibonacci analysis. If ZBCN is able to pull itself together and start being bullish again, then the 1618 says that this thing should get up to a penny. That would be your upside target for ZBCN, and you basically be more than doubling your money right now if it even gets up to 1 penny. But yeah, John, I think ZBCN is getting close to some buy zones here. You're looking for that 382 level at 0.036 pennies. And then your next level, you're looking for 0.0028 pennies. And if it loses that 0.0028 penny level, then there might be something wrong and you probably don't even want to be invested in this thing. But I would start nibbling at it at this level and also the 0.036 penny level. Mike says ZBEC is cooked. ZBEC is done. Might look at the coin market cap. Let's see which cryptocurrencies are getting beat up the most here. See, Bitcoin currently trading at 105,840, Ethereum at 2641, XRP $2.18. Who took it on the trend the most today? Virtuals and the top out of the top 100 cryptocurrencies is down 10.7%. Then Volta down 10.6, Immutable down 9.8, Pudgy Penguins down 9.4, Fartcoin down 9.11, 9.11%. Athena down 8.32%. So these are the coins in the top 100 being beat up the most today so far. John says he loves the red days. I mean, if you're buying on the red days, I can understand why you're loving the red days here. Fear and Greed Index is at 61, so there's still a little bit of greed, but we're starting to get back into neutral territory on Fear and Greed. Could mean that there's some buying opportunities coming up if we keep going down on the Fear and Greed Index. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, see what that looks like. So Fear and Greed, 61, coming down. When we get down to like in the 50s or the 40s, I would call that neutral territory. And if we go below 40, we're starting to get into fearful territory, and that's usually a good area to be buying some crypto. If you see crypto in the 40 area for Fear and Greed. So I think just this summer is just going to be sideways and boring. Unless we really do get some action in the Middle East here, and then it could actually start going down on us, and that should create buying opportunities. But at the same time, it's going to be disappointing to see that, you know, Bitcoin was challenging all-time highs here, and now we're end up going down. Now, what is going on with Aerodrome here? I'm looking at Aerodrome is up 20% today. And then Vlad wants me to take a look at Sui. We'll take a look at Sui after Aerodrome here. But Aerodrome is like the one shining star on a day when everybody else is in the red. Aerodrome is up 20% today, up 11 cents, currently trading at 66 cents. Interesting. Makes me wonder if I actually do have some Aerodrome myself. Maybe should I take some profits and then, you know, sell now, ask questions later why this thing is going up. It might have been probably some good news for it or whatever, for whatever reason. But Aerodrome getting a nice green daily candle here, getting above the 100-day moving average at 66 cents. I do have some previous Fibonacci analysis here. If Aerodrome can get above the 100-day moving average and use that as support, then the next target would probably be the 200-day moving average, sitting at 89 cents, almost 90 cents here for Aerodrome. That's very interesting, very fascinating to see that. Possibly. Let's take a look at market side for B real quick. See what we did have a green dot that showed up saying that you should have bought some Aerodrome on Sunday when this thing was trading at like 50 cents, and now here we are at like 66 cents. Wow. And today we started off at 55 cents, but now we're chilling out at 66 right now. So kudos to the Aerodrome investors, including myself. I have some of this myself, so I'm a little bit happy to see that. But I'm also questioning why that even happened in the first place. I wonder if there's been some good news for Aerodrome. But yeah, if this is a fake out for Aerodrome, you could come back right down to this 50-day moving average sitting at 54 cents. Basically, you would come back to where you started the day off at. But yeah, if somebody has you know, I'm trying to stick to the requests here, but if someone can find out what's going on with Aerodrome, this is a shining star in a sea of red right now. Up, currently still going up, 21% now. Jeez. Okay, Aerodrome. Let's take a look at SUI. Now, SUI's just having a bad day like the rest of the cryptos here. Down 5.54% today, currently trading at $3.20. And that $3.20 level is kind of like right almost where the 100-day moving average is sitting at $3.15. You might get some support there at $3.50, that blue line right there. But if you lose that 100-day moving average, and you might come down to the 50. The 50 is sitting at $2.93 for SUI here. Let's see. I'm trying to look at the MACD. MACD. I mean, we were looking good. We were looking ready to pop off for SUI. Right, selling pressure was dying down. You were getting some green candles, and then we got this whole news about Israel and Iran, and that was like the thing that ended up killing us off. I hate, maybe I shouldn't really say that, but that's the thing that ended up messing us up right now, is this whole Israel-Iran situation. We got rejected off the tune today. Tune today was sitting at $3.44. We got a little bit above that here on Tuesday, but then yesterday with bad news, and then today you getting that follow through, and we could end up coming back right down to $2.93 for SUI, where you got the moving average support there for you. Now let me just try to draw out a quick Fibonacci analysis on here. And you do have a 0.5 retracement that says that you could see SUI come down to $3.16. That's right where that 100-day moving average is. So I think if you're a Fibonacci trader, you're doing the fib levels here, and you're looking for 316 to hold. And also, if you're a moving average trader, you're looking for 315, 316 to hold with the 100-day moving average. But it wouldn't be surprising if we just end up coming right down to the 0.32 level here at $2.89, where the 50-day moving average is sitting at as well. So whether you're a fib trader or a moving average trader, or if you look at them both like myself to get some confluence here, you got your levels for SUI. $3.16, and then the next one is like $2.90 here. And if you lose those levels, then it's gonna get ugly out there for SUI. But the bullish case for SUI is if you do get above the 200-day moving average, and you test the highs that you made here back in May at $4.29, then you should see SUI come up to like $5, maybe even $6. You got the 1618 saying that, the bullish target for SUI is $5.71 right now. So I hope that answers your question there, Vlad. And Mara wants me to look at Bitcoin. We looked at Bitcoin earlier. Appreciate you coming into the live stream. I would like to finish off with Bitcoin, so maybe that will be the last coin I look at for now. Then we have Dizzle here asking about Cato. So I guess I'll look at Cato, and then we'll take a look at Bitcoin on the way out here. Stein is saying Zbeck is going to be sold on Coinbase. That's interesting. If it makes it to Coinbase, that means it's probably going to be around for a while. Because Coinbase doesn't add just any cryptocurrency unless it's already had some unless that cryptocurrency's been around for a while and it's not going to be like, you know, a scam or anything like that. All right, let's take a look at Cato, and then we'll look at Bitcoin after that. Cato USD. So it looks like this is a relatively new cryptocurrency that started trading on Kraken Exchange back in February. This crypto is trading at $1.43. Let me see if I can find another exchange that might have had this for a while. We'll look at Binance Exchange. Yeah, Binance Exchange is saying the same thing. This thing started trading on the exchanges here back in February. Topped out at $2.93 on February 27th. And we've been in a downtrend ever since April, and then we caught some bids here in late April going into May, and you're just looking to see if you can make a higher low at this point. Right now the last high low is back here in May at 78 cents, so this thing could still come down to like almost like 79 or 80 cents and still technically make a higher low and be in an uptrend. But that wouldn't be nice, because then you would probably lose 50% of your investment here in Cato. Cato is currently down 12.4% today, down 20 cents. And looks like, I mean, I can kind of see right now you got a left shoulder, a head, possibly a right shoulder. So that's bearish price action, which could send us down to lower prices. Let me go ahead and turn to VRVP. Kind of help us out with the levels here. VRVP is showing that value area low is this white line here, $1.46. You should be getting some support at this level. This level should hold, and if it doesn't, then it's going to be sayonara on our way down to lower prices here. You have a gap in the VRVP, and you could come down to 93 cents before you get some support or reaction on that high volume node right there. Yikes. So you really need to see $1.40 to start holding here. You need to be holding these prices right now. You could come down to $1.31, but I would say once you get to $1.31 and that doesn't hold, you're gonna lose a lot of money holding on to this crypto here as it tries to find support, maybe at like 93 cents. But I'll give you a bullish case if this thing does actually start getting its act together here and starts going to higher prices. The next high volume node is at $1.96, where you have some candlewick closes and body closes at that level there. So $1.96 should be your first take profit target, and then you get the POC, which is another high volume node here at $2.17, and then you get the value area high at $2.36. So I think once you get up to like once you get back to like $2, people are going to start selling this crypto on you. And you might want to be one of the sellers and think about selling at $2 once this thing climbs back up to $2. But once you get past $2, I mean, then there's like the all-time high here at $2.93 could possibly be take profit target. And I'll quickly do a Fibonacci analysis just to get the Fib extension and see where that takes us. And the Fib extension is saying that 1618 says this could be a $3.49 crypto sometime in 2025 maybe, if you can just get some more bull price action going forward here. All right, let's see. That was Cato, and we'll finish off here on Bitcoin. All right, I'm gonna keep this stream short and sweet. I usually do longer streams in the beginning of the week, but I have things I need to do for my rental car business, and yeah, we've gone live about an hour. You have to catch me on my next live stream. I'll probably go live. I'll try to do like a 2-hour live stream on Sunday afternoon from like 12 to 2 p.m. East Coast time, Eastern time here. But we're back at looking at Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin currently trading 105,860. And what do we got here for Bitcoin? What do we got? Let's see. We got the buy zones, okay? We're currently about to get into a buy zone. Anywhere between $102,000 to $105,000 Bitcoin is where I would try to scoop up some cheaper Bitcoin. Maybe this whole news about Israel and Iran blows over. Maybe they're able to continue talking and get some positive news this weekend. Is what I've heard, that they're having another meeting on Sunday if Israel doesn't attack them by that point. So maybe we get our bid orders here, and we can continue being bullish here on Bitcoin, and we just be like, oh, you were scared. No, you were scared. Huh? No, you were scared, right? But, yeah. If we get some more bad news and it rocks the markets, then we could see Bitcoin come right down to this $97,000 level here. It's where I would start putting in some serious buy orders in. See if I can get filled at that level. And we might even come as low as $93,000 Bitcoin. But you have a 200-day moving average at 95,500. You have a 100-day moving average at 94.9. And you have the 50-day moving average, this green line, at $93,400 Bitcoin. So hopefully those moving averages act as support and you don't lose them. Because if you lose them, then it really gets bad for Bitcoin. And we might end up seeing $84,000 Bitcoin all over again, like we did back here in April, where we have some sideways trading action. That should be a good support zone if we can't hold the 90s for Bitcoin. Right? If Bitcoin doesn't like the 90s, maybe we go back to the 80s. As we got this little 80s music playing in the background right now. OMG Bitcoin is what Mar has to say. Yeah, Mar, would be nice if Bitcoin continues being bullish here, and if it does, I'll just quickly do a fib retracement analysis here. And maybe we might see the Bitcoin come up to $117,000, which is the 1618 level here. And also retest the all-time highs at $112,000. That would be nice, right? But looking like we're gonna see cheaper Bitcoin rather than more expensive Bitcoin, the way things are going right now on the charts. And just the news that we've been getting this week. We should have been going up, to be honest. If we didn't have the geopolitical situation in the Middle East right now, I would expect Bitcoin to be knocking on the door of all-time highs right now. But we got some uncertainty in the market, and the markets don't like uncertainty. And the first thing people are going to do is click the sell button and then ask questions later. So it's just something to keep in mind, but you guys can take advantage of those people clicking the sell button by clicking the buy button and buying near these buy zones that I've highlighted here for you. Mari, asking me about the Fibonacci analysis. This is a fib retracement here. I'm not sure what you mean by the color chart, but I got my purple buy zones here. I got the moving averages highlighted with different colors here. And then this right here is my Fibonacci retracement tool, which gives us likely levels where prices will get a reaction. Yeah, this is the Fibonacci retracement tool. I gotta do a video that helps explain Fibonacci, but all I do is I go on TradingView here, I click on Fib retracement, and then I start from like the high price down to the low price, where prices got the lowest, and then it gives you the numbers here for likely levels where the price will go next. And usually on Fib retracement, you usually hit the 0.5 retracement or the 0.618. If it's a really steep retracement, then it goes down to 0.382 or even the 0.236. And if it's a shallow retracement and it's still bullish, then you get like a 0.786 retracement, and it doesn't go any lower than that. But right now, Bitcoin is at the 0.5 retracement at $105,500 Bitcoin. Or let's say it came down to that level. Let's see, how low did we get? 105,700. So yeah, basically 0.5 retracement. And if we continue being bearish, then we'll come down to that 0.382 or 0.236. And this is the strong buy zone between $102,000 to $104,000 Bitcoin. Okay. All right, that's gonna be it for today, guys. I'm gonna have to do a standalone video that explains the Fibonacci analysis a little bit better. I say I'm gonna get to it, but maybe I'll do that tomorrow, or I don't know, this weekend. I'll try to do a video about Fibonacci. And yeah, you just add that to your tool belt, and then we'll just see what the prices end up doing going into tomorrow and this weekend. But I think the world is at wit's end right now. We're on like a nice edge right now. I'm not sure what Israel's gonna do next, and hoping that they continue with the peace talks, and I guess you can call it peace talks, but the come to an agreement on what they're gonna do with the nuclear enrichment on Sunday here. But until then, yeah, guys, my next live stream is going to be on Sunday. I'm not going to go live tomorrow or Saturday. You'll see me on Sunday afternoon, okay? So be on the lookout for my next live Sunday between 12 to 2 p.m. East Coast time. Take care, guys.